Hey guys, Poro here with another Worlds 2025 daily recap, this time for day 1 of the Swiss stage. Today is usually extremely fun to watch, 8 best of ones that are wildly mismatched because of the randomness of the draw show. Since we have 8 games today, I want to clarify something for all of the new viewers here. Riot Games has an incredibly strict content policy for people without co-streaming rights. If you don't have those rights, you are only allowed up to 5 clips that are 1 minute or less across all of your content, whether it's videos, shorts, highlights, anything. This rule is in effect until 24 hours after the official broadcast ends, and after that I can use whatever footage I want. So to get these videos out in an actually reasonable time, I have to adhere to this 5 clip limit, and some games will have no footage. The first match was between Team Secret Wales and VKS, and it wasn't really close. Team Secret Wales as a squad have been fantastic all year at fist fighting for their advantages early, and that's exactly what we saw. They drafted a full dive comp and proceeded to fully dive. A Herald fight win pushed the ball in their court, and a clean Otacon 5-0 sealed the deal. I was very happy with Hero's performance. He can be shaky at times, but he showed up today and played a great Renekton game. His Toad did his thing on the Vi, and Taki got his place on the Rel, both of them did great too. I need to see Dyer shake out those nerfs though, he was getting handled a bit in lane phase. Eddie inting a few times is par for the course. Everyone who hasn't seen Secret Wales play before, expect this to be a recurring trend for him. Great mechanics, but way too aggressive. For VKS, they didn't even really get too many chances to make big mistakes. They were just outdrafted and hand-stiffed in the big moments. It's so hard to play Yunara in a game like this. The only players on VKS who showed any life at all and made positive plays were Miru and Desamis. An expected result, I'll be more interested to see how far Secret Wales can punch above their weight. They had a few issues in mid and late game. This has been their issue all year, and we'll see if it ends up biting them against a better team. CFO vs Fnatic was the next match, and it was definitely a game of all time. I don't comment on draft that much, but it was doomed from first 3 as Fnatic drafted 0 damage carries into one of the tankiest front lines imaginable. I have no idea how Upset or Poby are supposed to be useful in this game past 1 or 2 items. Fnatic tried to make it close by punishing a few early game mistakes from CFO, but overall the game kind of played itself. We got a rare clean Kaiwing game. I thought his Nico looked great both in lane and in teamfights. Driver solo killed 2 people and was a beast in teamfights as well, but Hongq made a few mistakes that I think could have translated to Fnatic advantages if they were just a little bit less behind. Doggo was overall good on the Caitlyn, but not enough for me to bump him to 4. For Fnatic, I thought Poby was the only player showing any life in that game, and Upset realistically couldn't do anything to win, so I didn't feel like docking him either. With this, LCP is now 2-0 on the day. KT vs Mkoy was unironically the lowest quality game of the day so far. KT bled out for the first 20 minutes looking incredibly uninspiring. They drafted Doc Dom Caitlyn but gave him a losing support, so you just have a losing Caitlyn 2v2, which is never good. Supa and Elyoya worked together to generate a massive lead, and they had 3 dragons and full control. KT started a desperation Otacon to try and go for one last Hail Mary, and then Mkoy funneled into a 4-man Orianna Shockwave as Alvaro died before getting his ult off, leading to Mkoy getting wiped. From there, Mkoy made things worse by trying to engage their way back in, which led to them getting wiped yet again as KT now had a 6k gold lead and could walk it in. For the most part, people played poorly this game. Doc Dom and Peter had a disaster early and mid-game, Cuz made a few horrible mistakes to get them the deficit, and then once Mkoy had the lead, Elyoya, Alvaro, and Supa all failed to execute well. BDD is the only player in this game worthy of large praise. He navigated early game decent enough, and then had the perfect game-winning Shockwave. Overall, not much to comment on this one, neither team played that well. Nah, no, okay, normally I don't do this shit, but oh my god, what the fuck did I just watch? What the fuck did I just witness? I mean, listen, I write all of these scripts in real time, so like the words that are coming out of my mouth are my thoughts when I was actually watching the game, but I do record I record all of my scripts like after the entire day is done, and then if I'm like expressing excitement or disappointment, it's like kind of fake, like it's like scripted excitement, but like no, I'm literally recording this like right after the fucking game happened. What the fuck did I just watch? Okay, alright. Let's talk about it. So first, BLG picks like their best team comp. Like that's literally their best team comp. Like that's the team comp that they have 100% win rate on in LPL. Every single time that they pick Caitlyn Elise, it's fucking over. Like they destroy the enemy team. And then 100 Thieves, they're responding like Ziggs or something. Like good luck, man. I don't like. Okay, you're telling me that you trust FBI Ziggs to play against Elk on Caitlyn Elise. And then it's like, we get into the game and like shit looks like it's going the way that you would expect it to look, right? BLG, they're like getting the leads. Caitlyn and Elise are styling on them. Like Elise is in their jungle level 1, like forcing River out of the jungle. Like River's playing bad. Like Ayla makes a couple of bad engages. Like he's trolling. Like the game looks so bad. And then 100 Thieves, they just start goading it up. I don't even know how to explain it. Like they just, dude. Okay, all right. I mean, all right. Let's go through this one at a time. Okay, so Bin, fucking terrible Rek'Sai performance. Like genuinely, I'm gonna say that Rek'Sai was worse than the Shy's Rek'Sai. Like the Shy inted a lot on Rek'Sai, right? The Shy inted more on Rek'Sai than Bin did in this game. But the difference is that the Shy's ints didn't really impact the state of the game. Like Bin's plays on Rek'Sai turbo contributed to the team's losses. Like they were, oh my, okay. And then Beichuan, we are not seeing Beichuan again for the rest of this tournament. I am telling you, BLG, they did this shit on purpose. This was a planned strategy from BLG, okay? They sandbagged this game so that way they had an excuse to play Shadow for the rest of the tournament, mark my words. Okay, anyways, we're not seeing Beichuan again for the entire tournament. Knight had some really bad plays. Like, at first I was gonna be like, okay, Knight, you know, like, he was playing fine, like, I'll give him a 3, whatever. And then he just, like after the, I think it was after the Otacon play, like, he just, like, TPs in, and then just gets, like, one shot by the Scion or some shit like that. Like, I don't know. Knight had some really bad plays towards the back half that sealed the deal. I thought that Elk played a fine game. This one was not on Elk. On was also kind of running it a bit. And then, like, we go over to 100 Thieves. Again, I thought River and Ayla had a really bad first half of the game, and then in the second half, they improved it, so I ended up giving them both 3s. Like, they were doing work in the second half of the game, so sure, we can respect it. FBI, really good Ziggs game. He navigated the Ziggs very well. Quid was absolutely styling on people. You know, I decided not to give Quid a 5. I felt like at the end of the day, most of the stuff that Quid was doing was stuff that was occurring after the game was already effectively over. Like a lot of his biggest highlights were when the game was over, or like in the big team fights where he did super well. I thought that he played like really well in those team fights, but not enough for me to give a 5. But I am giving a 5 to Dokla. That was the best game I've ever seen Dokla play in his entire career. Full stop. I have never seen Dokla play that well before. He was playing out of his goddamn mind. Like the amount of space that he was creating on Scion to make the rest of the game easier for his team to play, and then the engages that he found were fantastic. I don't know. I thought that Dokla played a flawless game from start to finish and was a massive influence on the fact that 100 Thieves were able to win that. So yeah, I don't know. I'm yapping about this game for 4 minutes. I don't even care. Screw all of you. You get to listen to that. Yeah, that's it from me. Fly versus T1 was pretty uninspiring. Bwipo tried to go for a few plays early that were close but ended up not working out, and Keria was running around on Bard getting multiple advantages. The game was a pretty simple domination from start to finish. Fly kept taking fights that could be potentially winning. T1 decided to match all fights because they thought they were stronger and could slightly win or heavily win that fight. The game may have gone for a while, but it was never close. Inspired had a terrible game. He did nothing productive the entire time, had a few extremely bad teamfights, and even got a dragon stolen against no smite on the enemy team. Just felt like he was tilted from start to end. Bwipo had some good plays and some bad plays, but the bad plays were more frequent, and he overall contributed heavily to the early deficit. Busio also had a couple good plays, but multiple bad fights as well. Quad had a bad scoreline, but honestly, I think he played fine for the most part, and Masu was also playing about as well as the game could have allowed. Everyone on T1 was solid, but not exceptional. Everybody made at least 1 or 2 mistakes that could have had a meaningful impact, but I bumped Keria up to 4 stars for saving so many plays and creating so many advantages. Expected result overall, we can move on. HLE versus AL was the banger people were hoping it would be. Extremely back and forth with a lot of plays happening. Shanks spent most of the early game playing pretty badly actually. He got caught out on multiple gank timers, and it just so happened Delight inted one of the ganks so that Shanks was able to navigate early game well. The teams were fistfighting it out, and it looked like AL had the lead. Then on the Soul Point Drake, AL played for the objective, but HLE played for the fight. Zeka and Zeus both played that fight super well, and Viper collected a quadra kill to shoot HLE back into the lead. Next up was the Otacon fight, and it was again a nail-biter. Zeka played the Otacon situation about as badly as possible, and Tarzan smurfed it super hard to bring the game almost back to even. Now it was Viper with a million kills who was up 5k gold, versus a balanced effort on the side of AL. HLE lost a fight on a Baron setup, and Viper tried to sneak away the Drake in the aftermath, only for Kyle to pull out a hero play as he stole the Drake by stunning Viper with his ult in a 1v1. Then, in the ensuing fight, Flandre hit a massive 3-man flash knockup to help win AL the fight, and now the game was pretty much over. Viper didn't have the ability to 1v9 the teamfights, and AL won. Overall, I would say this was the highest level game we've seen so far at the tournament. Zeus and Flandre both played excellent games, playing out most of the objective situations great. Tarzan and Kyle were both solid from start to finish, and both had game-saving plays at different moments, and while Hope was relatively invisible, he by no means played badly. Shanks had a lot of gold, but his play was not clean at all. For HLE, Peanut and Zeka felt pretty invisible for most of the game, and Delight was bad. I haven't seen the last two games yet, but this one has to be the match of the day. Top Esports vs G2 is here to give you all an exact picture of what Top Esports should look like at this international. When they are playing at their best, they are the best early game team in the world, and they can generate advantages consistently every single time. Top Esports drafted a comp with some pretty clear early laning advantages, and they played an extremely clean and structured early game. I genuinely think there is nothing G2 could have done with the champions they had to navigate this early game unless Top Esports made mistakes, and Top Esports were not making any mistakes. Caps was doing his best to get advantages mid, and he was definitely getting the better of Cream in lane, but those advantages never translated into anything meaningful. The game truly broke open at Otacon when 369 played a perfect teamfight, and the game was over from there. G2 tried their best and even caught JackeyLove inting 3 times, but it wasn't nearly enough, and overall it was a massive stomp. After thinking about it for a while, I decided not to dock a single member of G2 for this game. I truly think they all played pretty decently, and were all doing what they needed to attempt to win. It's just that Top Esports were too solid, and there was no way for them to lose without a generational throw. There's a reason why I said Top Esports looked like the LPL team with the highest ceiling by far, and there's a reason why I said if Top Esports don't make Grand Finals, the year is a failure. It's because I expect them to look like this every single game because I know they're capable of it. Whether Top Esports will keep it up is still to be determined. They haven't beaten the international choker allegations yet. PSG vs Gen G was expected to be a stomp, and it was, but honestly, PSG showed a little bit of life early game. Karsa made a lot of good plays with the Vi, and he did some stuff like steal Otacon. I figured I'd give him the nod. However, Gen G did what Gen G always do, and it seemed like every trade favored Gen G no matter what happened. The game was really decided when both teams went for Scuttlecrab to get their jungler level 6, but Karsa got his Q cancelled by Mbessa ult as Canyon got level 6 and won the team fight. Whoever got that Scuttle would have won that fight, and from there it was very difficult for PSG to fight. We saw them try a few times and make a few plays on members of Gen G who were too aggressive, but the game was never actually close after that. Shout out to Ruler, he played a pretty perfect Lucian game. He had some insane CS numbers, constantly 20 CS up over the 10-minute mark. Betty was super behind all game, but it was mainly because Canyon hovered the lane and Ruler and Duro were able to hard zone Sivir off the turret and she never recovered from it. It actually wasn't the cleanest game overall from Gen G. Keen made a lot of mistakes, and Chovy and Duro had a couple of slip-ups here and there, but as mentioned before, the game never felt close after the Scuttlecrab fight. Some signs of life from Karsa and the other members of PSG to look forward to in the coming days, but just not enough for today. With day 1 of Swiss done, we can look at how my predictions went and what I think will happen on day 2. For results, I got 2 wrong, those being AL and 100 Thieves. However, both games were a banger to me, so I'm definitely happy. I think for the most part, all the teams came out and looked about how I thought they would, except for whatever the heck Inspired was up to. Moving forward, we'll have 8 more best of 1s tomorrow. As of writing the script, we don't know the game order yet, so I'll just go down the line. I have Top Esports over 100 Thieves, Gen G over AL, KT over Secret Whales, T1 over CFO, BLG over Fnatic, G2 over MKOI, HLE over PSG, and Fly over VKS. I think AL could potentially win tomorrow since Gen G isn't the greatest Game 1 team ever, wouldn't be too shocked to see that, and I also think Secret Whales could really make KT work for it. If everyone is informed tomorrow and they don't choke, KT will have to sweat a bit to win. T1 vs CFO is a banger, we get a rematch of an incredibly close MSI series, CFO will be looking for revenge there. CFO can potentially win, but they need Hongq and Junja to step it up. Today was all about Driver and Kaiwing, but those two need the rest of the team to be informed to take down a giant like T1. Apart from that, not too much to say. Again, I don't take too much stock in what happens in best of 1s, I'll be paying attention mostly to see how I think the team's forms will look in the best of 3s. That's all I have for you for this one. Tomorrow, I'm going to trial star ratings out of 10, I'll see if I like it more or not. I recently started a Patreon for people who want to support me more while I'm making these videos. I have 3 tiers, each with varying amounts of benefits, including different types of behind the scenes content, and even a custom Poro drawing that I'll display in video outros. If that interests you, check out the Patreon link in the description. I'll see you all for the next one, bye!